Hey everyone, dread the thought of going on video. I know I do. What about going live? Not happening. Still want to give it a go, but not sure how to get it right. Well, then stay tuned as we have the very expert for you.
Happy Friday, Emer. Back
Yes,
again for
indeed.
another fun-filled show with a special
Of
guest who's going
course.
to educate
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Of course, you know what Friday means. We go to our favorite sites, daysoftheyear.com.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I have put together for some food for thought today.
Oh,
It is
interesting.
so
Yeah.
this
Go.
Friday, it is National Fish and Chips Day. Don't rush me, please, Emer. I like to take my time. It's
Yeah.
National Rotisserie Chicken Day.
Oh, stop.
And for our American listeners, it's National Donut Day. Don't like donuts. Yes.
Well, let me do an impression of someone I know who likes donuts, and I'm not just talking about you. Homer Simpson. Dough. There you go. What do you think of that? Just like that.
So anyway, to our special guest, Ian, do you like fish and chips?
I like chips.
Sorry,
I like
Ian.
chips.
I like chips too. I don't like fish. I'm allergic to fish.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
good.
I don't like fish.
Ah,
Rotisserie chicken, yeah, I can if I'm stuck and I haven't put the roast in time and have to fly down to the shops get the rotisserie backup plan. But yeah, what do you like, Emer? Are you a donut person? No,
I'm still trying to get over. I thought that was quite funny of me, like bringing Homer Simpson into the donut.
No, I'd give
day.
you a due. That was good. That was good.
Oh, thanks very much.
That was good.
Yeah, no. The only thing that's going to sweeten me up today is talking with Ian Anderson Gray.
Take it away, Emer. Tell the listeners who we have with us.
Yeah, I'm on a roll today. Oh, get it, donut roll. Oh, here. Ian helps business
Sorry,
owners.
Ian. It's just.
I need another coffee. Ian helps business owners and entrepreneurs to level up their impact, authority, and profits. Yay, we definitely need his help today. Confidently by using live stream video. So I have to say, I love his title. He's known, aka, as the Confident Live Marketing Coach. I like the way he says confident. And the founder of Seriously Social, and again, the Confident Live Marketing Academy. There you go, guys. So, and that's not all. He's an international keynote speaker and so much more. Welcome, Ian Anderson Gray, to Let's Get Social.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be back on the show with you guys. It's been a while.
I know.
Yes.
How long
And you were
did it be?
very
It
confident.
must be about 18 months. So
I think it is.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
Feels
it is.
longer, but I don't know. Anyway, let's not talk about the past. Let's think about now, the present. And
I know.
Yeah, let's move forward. Before we move forward with yourself, Ian, we just want to let the listeners know that if you want to catch any of our previous Let's Get Social shows, they're up on the podcast on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, and of course on the Dublin South FM website. So do check them out. Subscribe, download.
And I'm going to say, which I still can't believe I'm saying, and if video is your thing, yeah, go check us out on YouTube. We're actually there. We are. And you can go and subscribe, ring that bell so you won't miss Ian's not one but two shows today that we're recording. And you can go and, as I say, go find out what he's got to say today and for our next show, as they say. And if you want to leave us a comment, please do. And if you want to email in, where did they go, Philip? Because I've just forgotten.
Yeah, you've been thinking about donuts too much.
I'm still thinking about video as well. Yeah.
It's okay. You can go to inquiries at dublinsouthfm.ie. So do send us your ideas. Who knows? We might like one of your topics. We could turn it into a show, or even a suggestion for a guest. If there's someone that's in the social media space that you want us to snag and talk to, let us know also.
And leave us with some food for thought. Sorry, I had to say that because it's just talking food now, So
See what's happening there, Ian. We've kind of role reversed myself and Emer. I used to be the joker. Now I've become the serious professional, and Emer has just become the
I'm
joker.
away with
Let's
the
just
fairies.
away with the fairies, eating donuts. Listen, let's get to the brass tacks, I think, Ian.
Yeah.
I suppose business owners starting out on social media, just getting on even just a pre-recorded video seems like a worst nightmare? Like, how does a business owner maybe bridge that gap to maybe incorporate live video into their strategy?
Yeah, it's really interesting that you say that, that in just pre-recorded video, starting with that seems hard. So like live video is even worse.
Yeah.
And I get that because that's what I tried to do. And if I'm totally honest, if I go back to 2016, any kind of video was scary. You might not realize this now, but I was petrified of it. And part of the reason I was petrified about getting on camera was this thing that I struggle with that I know a lot of people do, and it's perfectionism. We're worried about looking like a complete idiot on camera. And weirdly, I believe that live video is the perfect antidote to recovering perfectionists. Because what I found with pre-recorded video is how many takes did I do? I probably would do like 20. I mean, if you ever do Instagram stories or reels or whatever you do these days, how many times do you stumble over your words and then delete it and go back and re-record it? You know, let's be honest. How many times do we do that? With live video, guess what? You can't do that. And that is, in one sense, scary. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Do you know what? It's also fantastically liberating as well, because and like so many business owners out there, you know, believing that content creation is so important, and content creation has completely changed my business. It's so important, and video is so important. I think we all know the power of video and the power of live video, but getting rid of that perfectionism and procrastination that I had in creating content has just been so liberating. And so I wanted to start really with the advantages. Yes, it is scary, but now actually the great thing is I spend an hour of my time doing it. It doesn't have to be an hour, it could be half an hour every week. From that half an hour of content, I can then make my podcast, I can make my other videos. And because it's not pre-recorded, because it's a live video, I can also interact with my audience and I can just get it done. Don't we just want to get stuff done? I do. And so that's one of the big advantages with live video.
The only thing is, I'm just thinking the procrastination. I'm sitting there thinking, will I press the button? Will I not check? Oh no, here I won't.
Well, there's one thing that you can do about that. So Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and LinkedIn Live. You don't want me to say this, do you, Ema? So, but no. I'm gonna. So all your kind of reasons in your head for avoiding it are gonna be are kind of crumble away now.
Okay, go on.
But the thing is, you can schedule to those channels. So you are committed. So for example, it's like, think about, you want to get fit. Okay. Now you can go to the gym. You can say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow at 2 p.m. And I don't know, half an hour before you start thinking that I could go to the gym, or I could just, I don't know, I could just have a little nap, because I don't know if anyone else does that. That's what I do. So, but the other option is you can tell your friends that you're going to go to the gym, and you could even meet up with your friends. And there's a friend who's actually going to be there at the gym. If you do that, you can't really get out of it, or it's a lot more difficult because you're going to let your friend down. So in the same with live video, if you schedule it in advance, I say, I'm going to go live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Then Facebook will create a post, YouTube creates a post, and LinkedIn will do that. And then if you start then sending it out to your list, hey, I'm going to be live tomorrow at 2 o'clock to answer your questions. If you do that, you kind of have to go live, because it stops being about you and it starts being about your audience. And ultimately, we need to get out of our own heads, because we're not actually, in one sense, the most important person here. Yes, we're all, running businesses, but ultimately the most important person is your audience. And so you want to don't make it about yourself. And I'm a complete hypocrite saying this, because I totally get it. I make it about myself. I say, oh, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. I'm sounding like an idiot. but ultimately people are turning up to watch you and to learn from you.
Mhm.
So don't make it about yourself, make it about them, schedule it in advance, and then you're going to have to do it. And it might go horrendously wrong, but you've done it. You've done it. You've gone live.
Yeah.
And the next time you go live, guess what? It's going to be better. That's a win-win as well.
Yeah. I
Every
actually
time you do it, yeah. Every time
yeah,
you do
I
it,
know.
you
I know. It's like actually the first time we started to do the show on YouTube, and I'm like going, I don't think I'm ready for this. I felt like, everything from the hips down, we're shaking. And all the feedback I got, God, that was really good. Blah, blah, and I'm going, oh my God, I was so nervous, So,
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think we've probably all had this. You see, you go to a conference or an event and you see somebody speaking, and you think to yourself, they've got it sorted. They're so confident. They're brilliant. And then you speak to them afterwards, and they say, "Oh, I was so nervous." We're actually really good at, I suppose you could call it masking, of hiding actually what's going on inside. So we might feel really nervous, but actually on camera, we're fine. We're okay.
Yeah. Like I'm still kind of getting there where Philip's on every day. He's in there with his cool tools, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I'm kind of, you see, I'm completely vain, Ian. I just love looking at myself and listening to myself. So the more content I can get out, the more I can watch myself.
Right. Oh, okay.
Well, there you go, you see. That's the other option.
Just be a total egomaniac.
So I was going to say, Ian, what are you? I know it's just come into my head. So, what are your tips for not being nervous before you get on? Like, do you have I don't know, a squidgy ball, or do you have music you kind of bang out, beforehand and get yourself all jazzed up, or do you have a really stiff coffee and just go here? I'll just go for it.
It's great. It's a great question. There is no easy answer in the sense that I think if you are the kind of person who gets nervous, you probably are always going to have some nerves. I mean, I still get nervous today doing it. I was a little bit nervous before I came on today, and you might argue, well, why should I be nervous? But it's partly because we want to do our best, and that's not those are good nerves. If I was completely not nervous, then I probably wouldn't give my best. So, but what we want those nerves to be under control. We don't want to be like a shivering wreck and our brain's going to mush. So ultimately, it's kind of part of it is what I said before, which is it's not about you. It's about you delivering value to your audience. So get out of your own head and just focus on delivering value. That's the first step. And don't overplan, but just have, it's good to have a rough idea of what you're going to say. What I suggest that you do is write the first couple of sentences down in front of you. Because what tends to happen to me, or certainly when I'm nervous, is I press the go live button and my brain goes completely blank. And so if you have at least the first couple of sentences in front of you, you've got it there. And what I also do is I do the last couple of sentences, because sometimes I forget I probably would forget my name if I'm always, my memory's not great. So I have those, the beginning and the end, and the middle just takes care of itself. So that's the first thing. Second thing that you can do is you can do some warm-up exercises and breathing exercises as well. So I trained as a professional singer, so a lot of the stuff I used to do really help with this. I don't need to do so much now because I feel I think I've just done it so much now that I just get in the zone. But breathing exercises is good. I prefer to stand as well, so I'm standing while we do this interview now because I just feel that gives me more energy, whereas I'm sitting down. I don't know what it is. I just feel I retreat into myself a little bit more, whereas I'm standing, that really helps.
You're able to kind of just nearly wiggle around the room a wee bit.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Ian, because when I'm on the phone and if I have to come up with creative or talk about strategy or ideas, when I'm standing and walking around, I'm a lot more the ideas come as opposed to sitting down. And it could be because maybe your breathing is somewhat stunted, where when you're standing up, you can kind of
maybe a little
be
more distracted.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just I find, and I know a few people who, when they have to have a call where they need to be very clear with their thought process, they have to stand and walk around, because it allows, I know for me, it allows me to process what the person on the end of the phone is saying. So that's
yeah. I mean, I think what I would say is try. You know, sitting down might work for you. You know, I know I've interviewed a few people who prefer to sit down, but it is a little bit more difficult to focus on your breathing when you do it that way.
Yeah.
And I just think for me at least, I find standing allows my brain to work a little bit more. So like kind of what you were saying. So
Is that your, that's my lead into a question about to ask you was, so how do you make your content and your live videos stand out? There you go, Ian. You know, compared to some of the bigger guns, you know, that way. Is there, because I know, and I keep saying this, and Philip and yourself probably says, like, you know, gives you a level playing field being on social media, but with whoever, because, you know, it's all across the board, you know, whether you've got, you know, whatever channel you're on, it's, you know, you have a likelihood of being seen. And live video, of course, is the top of the tree content. But what are you kind of, what's your kind of goal to say to people is, you know, to get your content to stand out? This is the kind of things that would work.
Yeah. No? So it's kind of, I suppose it's like a ladder, isn't it? You start off the beginning, and you just having a social media presence is going to set you up against people who businesses who don't. And then video, again, there are lots of businesses that are either too nervous, too busy, or whatever reason it is to do video. So if you're doing video, that allows you to stand out. Live video is the next thing as well. But it's really a case of, if you were to scroll down your feed, I mean, a lot of us doom scroll, don't we? Let's be frank about it.
Yeah.
When we go, you know, and we look down, what is going to make people stop and click on your video? Now, first of all, if it is live, they're probably more likely, because there are fewer people doing live video, particularly on LinkedIn, for example. And LinkedIn Live is I think is really powerful, particularly. YouTube Live works slightly differently, but let's just put that to one side for now. But certainly that's going to really help. And then I think the other thing is, and I don't want this to get in the way, I'll explain a little bit more in a bit, but about my concerns about mentioning this. But the other thing is your camera, your background, and all those kind of things. If it looks good, if you look good, then people are more likely to stop and click on your video. Now, the reason I'm a little bit tentative about saying that is, I don't want that to get in the way of you creating videos, because it got in the way for me. I didn't go live for a whole month because I was worried about my background. At my old place, I had a very boring wall, and I didn't go live for a whole month because I was comparing myself to others who had fancy, you know, studio backgrounds.
But you have a nice background.
I do now, but I didn't for ages. So I don't want this to get in the way. But if you do want to stand out, it's those little things that can really help. Once you've got people's attention, so that's great. Okay, you've got people to click on your video and watch you live. Now you've probably got 2 seconds. Otherwise, they're going to go off. So how do you get
no pressure?
how do you keep them in? And the first thing is a technical consideration, and that is good audio. So, okay, we've said video is important, but actually, in a way, once they click in, the video doesn't matter. It's the audio quality that matters. And I have seen a lot of videos where it just sounds like they're doing this in the bathroom, because it's just echoey, and there's background noises, and I don't know, the kids are having a fight in the background, and you just can't hear anything. And it's people are not going to watch that. It's just too tiring to listen into what you're saying. So audio quality is good. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just get a dynamic microphone. Like the one I recommend is the Samson. That's SAMSON.
Oh, I'm going to write this down.
not Samsung with a G, as in Samson and Delilah. That
Oh,
one.
right. Samson, yeah.
It's the Q2U. It's I don't have it here, but it's the reason I recommend this is it's a relatively inexpensive dynamic microphone. So it's like the one I've got in front of me. So it's in shot, but the advantage with a dynamic microphone is it picks up the sound directly in front of it. It's not going to pick up too much background noise, which is great. And it's USB, so you can plug it straight into your computer. But it also, if you're feeling fancy in the future, it has XLR, and so you can plug it into a fancy mixing console later if you want. So it's going to grow with you.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, get a decent microphone. So that's the first thing, and the second thing is to do with how you speak, and some people I've watched will speak very slowly and without any energy at all, and
you want to go asleep.
Exactly, you want to go to sleep, and and they'll even do things like this. I'm really excited to welcome my guest today, and it's a bit like that. So I call this. My method here is what I call heightened authenticity. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Is what's really important here is that you are yourself. So if you are quite more of an introvert, I'm an introvert. And actually I'm relatively shy as well. You might not think that, but
you hide that well.
I have to level up. So I still want to be me. Because one thing you don't want is if you're doing a live video and then you get a potential client contacting you and say, "Oh, I really love your live videos. Could you help me with this project?" And then you meet them and they realize you're
nothing like
a completely different person. You don't want that. So authenticity is so important. And also people can spot if you're not authentic. So you don't want that. You want to be you.
I listen, I'd be that nervous. It could be anybody else. But
that's good. That's what we want. But you want to level up the energy levels a little bit more. So if we met in person now, I probably wouldn't. My energy levels would probably be a little bit lower than now, just because it's a little bit more intimate. We'd just maybe chatting in a coffee shop, and I'd probably be speaking to you like this. So, how you doing? You doing all right? But on video, you have to level up a little bit more because the camera is like this energy sucking device. It sucks your energy, and people tend to kind of go into themselves, retreat into themselves, and it's just boring to look. On the other hand, don't go completely the other side and go hello and all that kind of stuff and really exciting.
You see that's the thing, because I'm not nervous. I talk more than normal, don't you, Philip? He's going to say no, you don't.
Well, yeah, like looking at the timer, we're nearly through this first episode, and I think it's probably mostly you actually talking, Emer. So I'm really sorry, Ian.
Because I don't think I can't really be. I just think, as you say, is you need to be just yourself. Like I have to give Philip his kudos, apart from his high kicks on his Instagram. Do go check them out, Ian. But and his air guitars. He pretty much comes across as he is, So I
suppose I am kind of it's kind of funny because my wife is a fantastic marketer, has spoken in front of multiple audiences, senior leaders. Ask her to go in front of the camera. It's a different scenario. And I know so many managing directors and serious kind of business people who have presented to 500 people, not a problem, but ask them, could you just stand there and I'll do a video with you?
It's a really interesting point. I don't know if we've got time just briefly.
Yeah, we can bring far away there. Yeah.
So I actually worked with a client who was similar to what you're talking about, goes around the world, has no problem speaking at these big, high-powered conferences in front of 500,000 people. But when it came to getting on camera, particularly doing a live, they just went to pieces. And I think part of the reason why, because I empathize with that, getting on stage to sing in front of 500 people, getting in front of an audience to speak, I wouldn't say I didn't have a problem with it, but it was an adrenaline management that was going on. Because I was getting nervous and I think most of the people that you would speak to would feel nervous, but they turn that nervous energy into the performance in front of the audience. And the energy that they get back from the audience kind of fires them up to give more.
Yeah.
You do not get that on camera. As I said, the camera is this inanimate object. It sucks your energy and you're not getting any of that feedback from the audience. So you might see the number on the top left-hand corner of the screen that says you have 5 people watching, 10, 100 people watching.
Yeah.
That might be, but you have no idea. They might all be there thinking, what a load of rubbish this is. But that's probably what's going on in your head, because we have this negative voice in our heads. And we're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm talking absolute rubbish. And so coming back to this person I worked with, what we did was I said, well, okay, let's go live together. So I got my phone out and I interviewed him live. And ever since that, I've not been able to stop him doing any, not that I've tried, but he goes live twice a week. And
that's a good idea, actually. Go live, as you say, with somebody else, maybe.
Yeah.
Because then you have that interaction rather than just looking at the camera going, I've nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I like that tip, actually. Yeah.
That's a great way, I think, to finish this first part. It's kind of amazingly quick, Ian. And
time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I suppose, like, if people make sure you tune into next week when we have a second part with Ian. But if people are intrigued to learn more about yourself, Ian, where would you like them to go? Your website, your social channels?
Yeah, well, my website is iag.me, so that's short for my name, Ian Anderson Gray. You can check that out. I'm also a co-author in a book that's coming out in June. Mark Schaefer and his friends, I think it's 36 authors. So I've written the chapter on live streaming.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's very exciting. And you can find out more if you go to iag.me/amazing, because it is called the most amazing marketing book ever. So check that out.
Of course it would do.
Yeah. You're very confident about that, Ian. I like it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I'll definitely be getting my copy. Will you sign it for me, Ian, will you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
I was going to say, if you want to go and check out today's podcast, and the radio show, of course, go check us out on Podbeam, iTunes, Spotify, and the Dublin South FM website. Anything else, Philip?
Well, of course, if you want to see us on video and putting our paces through with the Meister, Ian, you can pop over to Let's Get Social Show YouTube channel. And don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos.
Exactly. Or you can send us an email as well to inquiries@dublinsouthfm.ie, and hopefully you can give us a few topics and we'll turn them into shows. So anyway, Ian, will you come back for the next one, as they say?
I think I will. It's been great fun. Thank you for
Thank you for all the tips and the insights. And I think there'll definitely be a few business owners who will get a little bit more confidence to go live after this first episode. So, definitely.
Yeah. And it'll all be your fault, Ian. Anyway, so guys, we'll see you for our next show next Friday at 2:00 on Dublin South FM, and we'll see you then.
Take care. Bye-bye.